Hey, yeah, what's up? This disciple Marshall Occurrence, anti-America up in this. So what we're gonna talk about today is real equality, because I'm tired of these Americans walking around talking about equality. Yeah, the prophet. Listen, when you strike a prophet, you struck a nerve, buddy. You struck a spiritual nerve. Now we're gonna talk about everything. Now we're gonna open the whole book. Now we're gonna talk about it till you tired of it. Now we're gonna talk about it till you nauseous. This is why you don't do it with a prophet. You go out there, like I told you before in the past, you go out there to the people that love it. If you people that like to be divas and people that like to be create reality shows and create movies and try to create movies and history, so it's a movie history. People that try to play those games, man, it's people that love it. It's people that's looking for that attention. That's who you go play with. You don't come playing with a prophet. Now you see what I'm saying. Someone that has no problem with putting you in the grave. Okay? A person that does have no problem with putting you in the grave, brother. Not here, not in America. A prophet has no problem with that. Okay? It does not serve any purpose for God. First off, the prophet is for God. Just like Bob Marley said, I'm not for black people, I'm not for white people, I'm on God's side. Go look up at that quote. You want to quote Bob Marley, quote that part. Quote the part where Bob Marley says, I'm not on God's side, black man's side or white man's side, I'm on God's side. Boom. And you think you better than him? Well, you would never say nothing like that, would you? That's a 7 Al. Hey, we could never get a soundbite like that out of you, could we? Oh, you're not on black people's side, you're not on white people's side, you're on God's side? You would never say that. You would never say it. How much you want to put on it? You would never say that, man. So don't listen, man. Come on, man. Listen. You don't even know who you be listening to half the time, do you? Uneducated as can be. And education is just a step away. That's what makes it so pathetic. You can educate yourself every day. It's just a step away, a book away, a Google search away. And there you go. You're informed about something you did not know before you searched it out. So that's what makes uneducation and ignorance so pathetic. It's education is always one step away. One step. One step, which is reading a book or doing a Google search and reading information. It's literally one, it's not even 10 steps. Education, this is a quote I just made. Education is one step away. This is what makes it so pathetic to be uneducated. Now, we're going to talk about equality. We're going to talk about equality because I'm getting tired of people insinuating. Well, we got to all be treated right. Okay. You want to have that conversation? You want to have that dialogue? Do you really want to have it? Or do you want to say something ignorant in a biased manner like I can't tell? All of it is biased because when we open up the whole real situation, you're not equal with everything that you do. Here's where you're not equal. This is where you do not practice equality. Because equality, let me help you with understanding. Look, go look up definitions because see, you placed in your mind definitions that people gave you. Yes, you did. You looked up definitions that other people gave. You took other people's interpretations of words. Go look up equality again and research it yourself. Go see what equality really means. Because half of y'all do not practice equality enough to be talking about it. I'm going to say that again. Half of y'all do not practice equality enough, in the magnitude enough, in your own personal life and in the collective African American community or the Hispanic and Latino community. You do not practice it enough to demand equality. You can't demand something that you do not practice yourself. It's common sense, right? So if we look at the situation present day for what it is, not in any other day, we got to go by now. We can't go by the past in the 1960s because you are not that generation. Okay, you are a new generation. You understand that, right? So in the new generation, you can't piggyback and anchor yourself on the backs of your forefathers. You have to stand for your own. You have to stand on your own. And when we see these present generations of African Americans, Hispanics, and Latinos standing on their own, they can't even ask for equality because they don't practice it themselves. You killing your own people. What you standing on? Oh, what your parents did, what your forefathers did. We talking about you. Everybody quick to say. Now you see what I'm saying. Everybody quick to say, oh, we stand on our own. Well, then why you acting like you the generations of the civil rights movements? That ain't you. You know who you are? You're a culture that's killing each other and killing everybody. You're killing your own kids. And then you go and cry about the police doing it. That's not equal. That's not equality. Equality it's a double-edged sword. Equality is a double-edged sword because you have to apply the same consequences that you dish out to others on how to treat you. You have to dish out those consequences to yourselves. That's the double-edged sword of equality. You can't go preach equality and hold people to a certain standard on how to treat you, and you don't even treat yourself like that. You don't even treat your own selves like that. But yet you holding everybody else to it. You don't want nobody calling you out your name. You don't want nobody calling you nothing racist. But technically speaking, let's be totally thoroughbred about it. If white people can't say nigga, why you saying it? If the word holds that much pain, then why is you saying it then? I mean, I'm not the smartest man in the world, but if something gave me that much pain, I wouldn't deal with it altogether. See, I'm not the one crying around about it. You are. You crying about racism. You ready to cancel somebody, but yet the word is all in the best of rap music. If you go look at the catalogs of all the classic rap music you really like, I ain't talking about that halfway stuff. The stuff that you really like, the word nigga is all throughout the catalog of that music. Right. So let's be technical about it. It's the same word that the white man using, ain't it? Let's be technical about it. And you could say what you want to say. You could say different definitions, but the bottom line is this. Don't insult my intelligence with realizing the origins of the word. The origins of the word. And realizing if it had that much pain to the word, you wouldn't find no good way to look at it. It wouldn't be no good way to look at it. If it was that painful to you, it would be no good way to use the word. So really, you're kind of lying to yourself, because if it was so painful and you really embodied the pain of your ancestors being called this name, then you would find it would be ridiculous for you to find a way to use it. It would be ridiculous for you to find a way to use it. A word that the white man has been using against you to discriminate against you. It would be ridiculous for you to find a way to use it if you really embodied the hurt that you claim to body from racism when it's said to you. So you're hurt when the white man said it, but you're not hurt when he said it. But it still comes from the white man, and it's he originated the word. Black people didn't originate it. So all in all, you're still using the word that the white man used. See what I'm saying? In other words, he's still defining you. He done got it to the point where now you defining him as he wants to define you. You're defining yourselves as he wants to define you. People from the civil rights movement will be rolling around in their grave. Why black people calling each other niggas? What in the world has happened here? They're killing each other and calling each other niggas? How can they think that's ever a good thing? Can you imagine the older woman from the civil rights movement time? No, ain't no way you can make that a right thing. That white man calling us a nigga, and how in the world you making it a right thing? How can that be considered right? How can you find some way to identify yourself with what out of that word that he done made of you? Why would you accept that word? So see, these are the technicalities. These are the technicalities of true equality. True equality is if they can't save, you can't save. And if you do, some would say it's hypocrisy. I know you got your little way of thinking about it. But if you want to be real, I'm saying this is why you don't listen. This is why just as dangerous as it is, as people think it is, to discuss religion and politics, you know what's just as dangerous? You didn't think that was a third situation, did you? So everyone knows in America that you don't discuss politics and religion, which is a moron's creation, because those are the two things that you need to discuss. You need to discuss politics, you need to know what's going on, and you need to discuss spirituality and religion. Yes, you do. But culturally, among the cultured, you know, it's always going to lead to an argument. You don't discuss religion and you don't discuss politics. Ain't that what people say here in America? See, you didn't think I was cultured, did you? I didn't say I wasn't cultured. I just deny your culture. You see the difference? Oh, that's what's happening. Oh, you thought because I denied your culture, I wasn't cultured. Well, how come I know all the stuff you say then? Don't talk about religion. Don't talk about politics. It always leads to an argument. Well, you know what's worse than you know what's worse of a can of worms to open? You talking about morality. You talking about morality and integrity. This is what your country did. They wanted to talk about morality, character, purity, and integrity. Boy, wasn't that stupid. You know why you're stupid? Because listen, a country as lax as this country is, morally speaking, it doesn't even take hard work to find to chastise you spiritually, physically. I mean, far as purity and far as in character, it doesn't even take hard work. It's suicide for you to try to go up against the heavyweights, a prophet with integrity. You have none. Don't you see that? You have none. It's suicide. You must have a death wish. Playing around a prophet that is close to God, that hears from God. And you want to challenge someone's integrity. You want to challenge my integrity and character. And I can just open up your whole situation, your whole community, your whole law system and everything. And that's what I've done. It was absolute social suicide for you to go out here and discuss purity on a serious level. The police can't do it. I can look them right in their face and talk about it. I have done it. I've talked to the police about child marriage. I'm a grown man. Them people put their clothes on just like I do. This is how you know I'm a real leader. I can look in the face of the police. Until you can do that, me and you ain't on the same level. I can look into the face of the police and educate them. When have you educated police? Man, come on, man. That's why I'm trying to show you, man. Do not compare me to these bums, man. Okay? I educate police. I educate police precincts. Go ask them. That's what all I'm saying. And you out here, listen, man, you out here a high school George Jesse psychic telepath fool with no information, educating no one. I educate police. What you do? Read minds. You need your head blowed off. That's what you need. You're a nobody. You are a nobody. Okay? And you in the arrogance, makes you think you're somebody. That rock star arrogance that makes you a consumer, they do it to make you feel like, oh, get some shades, you're a rock star. Get a jacket, you're a rock star. You have been gassed by your own community in order for them to make you a consumer, and you don't even realize it. That explains why these Americans walk around arrogant like they're rock stars, spending money on in lower Manhattan eateries, eating out on patios, and they know they ain't got the money. Because you want to look in vogue, you want to look like you got it. Half of y'all want to look like, and if you do got it, you're still a nobody. You're not famous, so you want to still but you put yourself, just like Erykah Badu say, you in the bars hanging around with stars. You in the bars hanging around with stars, trying to hang around with stars because you might have a little money, but you ain't famous. So because you feel like a nobody, you want to go gravitate to where they at in the bars or something around the stars. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Listen, do not talk to me about equality until you practice it yourself. That's the first thing. Listen, I'm not one of these bozos out here. You're talking to a prophet of God. The last thing you want to talk about is integrity. Now you see what I'm saying. You don't talk to preachers about your loose, whack interpretation of equality. Go talk to these bums out here. Don't talk to no preachers and no prophets about equality. Now you see what you're messing with. Someone who studies equality, someone who studies purity, someone who studies character and integrity. And are we perfect? No. But listen, you ain't got to worry about that, do you? Because guess what? We covered under the blood of Jesus Christ. I know it's a cheat code you can't beat. As soon as you think you got us, we right back under the blood of Jesus Christ. So don't you worry about, listen, as long as I'm in that state, don't try me. Because guess what that means? I'm in a state of purification through Christ. And if you think that you can pick up something that you think I last did and try me, you're going to be playing with somebody that's under the blood of Jesus Christ, justified by Jesus Christ, which means you're playing with somebody you're playing with God's child, God's servant that's in good standing with him. And that's a problem. Oh, you won't walk away. Yeah, I know. You think it's street stuff and it ain't. That's what's wrong with you now. You've been watching too much hip hop. You think everything is street stuff. This ain't street stuff. This is spiritual warfare. Now you see what you're playing with. Now you don't want no smoke. It's too late for that. It's too late for not wanting smoke. You played the game, you're going to get the stupid prize. You play stupid games, you get stupid prizes. You wanted to play a game of equality and trying to see if somebody's racist and trying to throw faces out there to see if somebody's racist. Well, listen, bro. The bottom line is you calling each other niggas. I don't have to be biased. You're going to be biased about it. You're going to try to explain it. You can't explain it to nobody from the past. You can't explain it to an OG that sticks to the original DNA. You can't explain it. You couldn't explain it to Martin Luther King Jr. Oh, you can explain this to Martin Luther King Jr. Why you calling each other niggas. Boom, that's a 7 hour. You can explain it to Malcolm X why you call each other niggas. You think you could explain it to Martin Luther King Jr. Well, see, it became like we used lemonade, we turned lemons into lemonade. Man, if you don't sit your lemonade drinking tail down. Talking about lemonades and cups of lemonade. Sound like a pimp from Tallahassee. Well, lemonade, we took the word and made lemonade. You ain't have to take the word at all, did you? Well, if you so creative, how come you ain't find a better word? That's a 7 hour. Hey, we always saying black people so creative. Well, how come you wasn't creative enough to find a word better than that of endearment that we all could draw to? Still haven't found that word that topped that one, did you? That still seems the coolest to you After all that word has been through, do you realize, let me tell you something. Come here for a minute. You realize that's the word that some black people, that's the last word they heard before they died. You ain't never think about that, did you? See, I know you don't think a lot. You don't think at all, really, do you? Thinking is something you do. You know that, right? Thinking is something you do. It could be considered a verb. Thinking could be considered a verb because it's something you do. You never thought about that, did you? That's the last words. That's the last word many black people in the 70s and 60s and the 50s, in the 40s, that was the last words they heard was mobs calling them a nigga, nigga this, nigga. And they went and faded to black and died. That was the last words they heard was nigga. You know how many people, can you imagine how many people, that was the last words they heard being screamed in their face? The last words being spoken into their ears before they went into eternity? How you think they would feel about you saying the last word that they heard before they died at the hand of racist people? And now you got it on your shirts, and now you got it on your record albums and all of that. How you think they would feel about that? And you think who's the sellout? According to OG DNA, you the sellout. See, according to your generations, you have your sellouts, which are usually people that don't go along with what you feel and how you feel. That's what a sellout is. But according to original DNA of OG DNA, right? According to that, you the sellout. You realize that, right? You ain't getting that past me. I don't care what you think. You can't find no Uncle Tom in me, man. I'm too much of a fighter. Listen, I'm too much of a 100 thoroughbred, boy. You can never find no Uncle Tom in me. But I can find it in you. Yeah, just because I don't take nothing off of you don't mean I'm an Uncle Tom. That's how stupid, simple you are. Oh, because I ain't saying what you want me to say. Because I ain't going along with that agenda. I ain't the mad rapper. Listen. You think I'm bitter with life. Listen, it ain't got nothing to do with that. It has all to do with what is right and wrong. And if you listen closely to what I'm saying, everything is absolutely wrong. And it's been going on so long that you can't keep the same mediocre approach to it. See, that's the punchline. You can't keep the same mediocre approach when it's been going on for this long. So everything is on point. You've been chill about it for too long. You've been chill and cool about it. And you still out here talking about equality, bro. That's the part I'm tripping off of. You out here talking about equality. But yet you do not project it by true definition in your own community. You can't, listen, you got to get your own, like the old people would say, you got to get your own house in order before you try to tell somebody else about their house. Because you definitely are not going to run up on me talking about any equality or anything when you're in the state that you're in collectively. Imagine me caring about what you think. I don't care about what you think because I look at the state that you're in, that you're presently in. And when you're trying to anchor yourself to other DNA and you're not connected to that DNA, now you see, it's like you lost your soul because you're not connected to the original DNA. Well, and you know what I base that off of? I base that off of your agenda, vision, and purposes, and the things that come out your mouth like nigga. The original DNA would not be using nigga. The original, I don't care about the hip hop. That's what you stuck on. That's your DNA. You chose DNA of hip hop. Some people chose DNA of old school civil, preservers of black lives, the originals. We're not all one and the same, bro. You think it's a timeline. It's not. It's not. It's not. You in a whole different direction and you do not want to acknowledge it. You do not want to acknowledge that you're in a whole different direction. It is not the same. And respect is going to be given. Because you got people that are sitting back as a committee. You ain't no committee over me. Look at all you letting get by you. And you think you're gonna chastise me. You done lost your mind. Go chastise your community. That's what you need to do. Go chastise your community before you think you can chastise me. I don't care what it is. I don't care what you heard. Until you chastise your own community, who intelligence are you insulting? You're not in a state to correct no one. And you hiding like I don't know you're there, and I know you're there. Because I'm a prophet for real. And listen, if you step in this game like the white man did, talking about integrity, man, your card is going to get pulled, man. That's one game you don't play in America, is integrity, because you have none. You don't have none. Where? Where's the integrity? Where is the integrity? Where? Okay, black community. Where's the integrity in the black community? All these killing the children. Police ain't even killing children at the rate that black people killing children. But you want to talk about who's killing you. Okay, racism. How you got the right to talk about racism when you're using the most racial slur in your whole culture? Yeah, you're biased about it, and you want to make competitors and you want to play opponents. So guess what? Why would your opponent be biased about it? Makes sense? You're quick to oppose. You're quick to try to pull people card. You're quick to try to make your committee pull up on people. Okay, so then that forces us to be 100% thorough with you on racism, because you're quick to cancel people here, cancel people there, cancel people everywhere. So let's talk about it then. Let's be thorough about it as you want to be, or as you project yourself to be. Why is your whole culture using the word nigga and you running around talking about racism and racial slurs? Because you're biased about it and you're intoxicated on the culture to the point where you don't even have the original DNA anymore. You're around here killing each other. That's not the original DNA. You're using a racial slur that now white people use. You got white, and this is how you know people are not with it. I don't like white people using that around me. Oh yeah, white people, them young white boys. Yeah, that's my nigga, that's my nigga. Nah. I don't even feel good about Hispanics and Latinos using it. Hey, well, it wasn't really applied to their ancestors now, was it? Was it applied to their ancestors? Was it applied to white people's ancestors? Was it applied to Hispanics and Latinos' ancestors? It wasn't, was it? So no, I don't feel comfortable with that. I don't feel comfortable with that. Well, hey, it is what it is. If some black people don't feel that, I don't feel that. I'm one of them black people that do not feel, I don't care. I don't care. I don't feel that. I do not feel cool about Hispanics and Latinos running around here talking about nigga. I do not feel cool about white people running around here talking about nigga. Nah, no. My white friends ain't never do it. I ain't never had no white friends to do that. No. Okay? That's what I'm saying. But you sitting around and you letting people say that right in your face, and then you'll go cancel culture somebody else. I don't care what the interpretation is. Whose intelligence are you insulting? Well, it means something different. It's the same word, man. How does it mean? How is it? What you talk about, man? No, you chose to put your interpretation on something that has a racist root all the way to the back of the origin of the thing. It has a racist root. It's no way you can change the root. the root is racist. It's the only thing that you have taken. Think about it. Well, not the only thing, but it's one of the most blatant things you have taken for racism. Nigga, the word, is one of the most blatant things you've taken from racism. You took it as your own. So in my opinion, how can you have the right to think you can say something about, how can you have the right to think you can say something about somebody saying something racist or a racial slur or a racist, period? That's how intoxicated you are on your own culture. I don't feel that. You chose to let it get past you. I don't. When you want to play games of integrity, I don't let it get past. That's why I try to tell y'all, playing a game of integrity is a game you don't want to play. Not here in America. Not here. Maybe somewhere else, some other country where it's not that bad. Not here though, bro. You contradict yourself way too sharply. That's how I put it. You contradict yourself way too sharply. You got gang banging over here, killing kids, and then you want to go holler out in the street what the police is doing. That's hypocrisy. If you was in another country, you would be called hypocrites. You run out here and kill each other, shooting each other, blowing kids' heads off, and then go out here and holler in the streets about what the police are doing. The only thing that has not made you considered a hypocrite is the culture. The culture is what saved you from being considered a hypocrite. That's what saved you from it. Because the culture tries to make it appeal like it's a part of the struggle. And at the end of the day, you still not connected to the real DNA, because in any struggle, if you had the real DNA, you would preserve yourselves through any struggle. So you can't blame these new struggles of drug dealing and street life, because if you had the real DNA from the Harriet Tubmans and the MLKs, I don't care what struggle you go through, you wouldn't be killing your own people. You would rather die than kill your own people. Okay? So man, don't talk to me about no equality. Go talk to these chumps out there that don't know no better. Do not talk to an educated man. Let me say this. Do not talk to an unbiased, educated black man on equality. Because listen, this ain't gonna change. Listen, this is not gonna change until you chastise and correct yourselves. Like I said, if I gave you a government, can you rule today? Can you rule today as African Americans if I handed you a whole government? A whole government, here it is. Here's all the positions, here's all the senators, politicians, president, everything. Can you run a government now? Do you have education enough as on your own without using Hispanics and Latinos and white people to run your own government now? Today, you can't do it, can you? That's what I'm talking about. So you're not ready today. So when you going to be ready? And the reason why you're not ready is because the main reason is because you in your culture, you will not properly chastise the evil among yourselves, because the evil is in the culture of killing each other. So you have the no snitching policy, and you're not going to chastise all the evil as it needs to be chastised, as a government would chastise it. Black people are not going to chastise the evil of other black people as a government would have to. Do you understand? So that means you can't even run a legitimate, clean government. You couldn't, based on your own standards of living. Okay? Now, can you take black people out the ghetto? If I'm talking about today, if I say, hey, we shipping all black people out the ghetto, can you take them out today? I'm talking about right now. See, that's the difference between dreamers and realist. I am a realist. Do not get my spirituality twisted to think I'm not a realist. I am a realist. Can black people come out the ghetto today? Can black people come out the ghetto today? June 19th, 2023. Can you come out the ghetto today? So if we took you all out the ghetto, what's going to happen? Confusion, drama, and conflict in another clean, good neighborhood. That's what's going to happen. Because the mentality of all that shooting and ganging and thugging and that hustle mentality is going to be taken right to another neighborhood. So you're not even ready to come out the ghetto and you're not ready to rule in a government. So what are you ready to do? Oh, you're ready to chastise me, but you can't even run a government. You can't even, your people are not even ready to come out the government, out the ghetto. Man, come on, stop playing with me. That's what I'm saying. You got your picks like we in high school who you think you can play with and pick with. And I'm not that person. I'm the prophet of God. Listen, I go beyond ethnicities. You can mock me if you want to, but look outside. You can play with me if you want to, but look outside. It ain't looking good, is it? That's what I'm talking about. Listen, we offer results. This is the kingdom of God. I am not intimidated by no Americans. I just want you to know that. Whether they be their black, be them being black, or be them being white, or be them being Hispanic, or be them being Latino. It does not matter to me what ethnicity you are. Okay? It does not matter to me. You hung up on that. I'm not. You scared of certain ethnicities and I am not. Okay, that's you. You look at big black guys and you get scared. I don't. You look at gangbang and look at Mexicans and get scared, and I don't. And that's the difference between me and you. I'm able to rule today. I'm able to come out the ghetto today. You take me out the ghetto, I can go to another neighborhood and the police would not be called. As long as I feel there are no threats where I got to carry open weapons and everything like that, which I always feel the need to carry weapons. But other than that, there's not going to be any calls on me. I can rule over whole governments because I will chastise evil and you will not. This is the difference between the wicked African empire. If you don't know what this means, let me explain it. You got the wicked African empire, and you have the righteous African empire. You got two different empires. The wicked African empire is not ready to rule, but they dominate the culture. They dominate all the stuff we see on TV. That's all them. They are the people that sit back and let killing go on, but then go cry about what the police is doing. That's the wicked African empire. I represent the righteous African empire. Now you see what I'm saying. It's not a matter of race. It's a matter of righteousness, the righteous Africans and the wicked Africans. We're not all in the same boat. And it's kind of racist to think that we are. Oh, all black people are just together? What, you think we coming out of slavery or something? No, I'm not trying to be funny. You think we just coming out of slavery? We just all together? No, we're not. In the present time, 2023, we're not all together. You got the righteous African empire and the wicked African empire. For you Americans, what you see is the wicked African empire. You don't even know anything about the people that I'm a part of. You don't even know anything about the righteous African empire. You don't even know nothing about it. That's why you're losing, because you have no prior experience with the likes of me. I didn't say I was some leader like the leaders of the past. That's what you thought. You thought you assassinate me like the rest of the other leaders. How's that working out for you? You have no prior experience. That's why you're losing. As a nation, as a whole country, that's why you're losing. Because you have no prior experience as a reference point of playing with someone of spirit that's African, that's spiritual on my level, that you opposed. Because let's look at the facts. Malcolm X was a part of Islam. That we do not consider Islam the true way. Okay? And I'm going to leave it at that. Martin Luther King Jr., his granddaddy and daddy, all of them was Masons, Freemasons. MLK, with his whole family, was Freemasons. Black people don't even know that. Half of you black people sit up and act like MLK was the greatest. Okay, I don't, because Harriet Tubman, and you may take this some kind of way, but I don't have no expiration on who's the greatest and all of that. And listen, the greatest is Harriet Tubman. She literally freed people from slavery. She's the greatest. MLK is not the greatest. Malcolm X they're not the greatest. Okay? And you could take it personal, or you could look at it for me looking at it for what it is. Okay? None of them, Malcolm X and MLK, were not spiritual. That's why they died. And you think it's a reference point to think you can play with me. That's the likes of who I am. I'm not the likes of that. I'm a prophet of God. I'm a spiritual man. Malcolm X didn't even follow the true way. That's number one for him. So that's half of the people that you think. That's half of the type. That's half of the category of the type of person you think that I am. The reference points that you using to think you can play with me. He wasn't even falling the way. So how was he protected by angels? He wasn't protected by the power of God. MLK was a Freemason. His family was Freemason. His dad and granddad was Freemasons. And they made MLK a Freemason on sight, as they say. So technically, MLK is a Freemason. Listen, I'm not being blasphemous. Go look it up. They were going to make him a Freemason when he left Memphis. Listen, you just got attitude. I got facts. I can cut right through your attitude with the facts. I don't care nothing about your nasty attitude. I got the facts. And guess what? No matter what kind of attitude you got, you know what's beautiful about the truth? When you get done being huffy and puffy, these facts are going to be right here waiting for you. MLK was going to be made a Freemason when he left Memphis. You didn't know that, did you? They were planning to make him a Freemason when he came from Memphis back down to Georgia. And here's this part. Hear this part. And they still made him a Freemason. Well, how did they make him a Freemason? Because in rare cases of Freemasonry, they can make you a Freemason after you die. Oh, you didn't know that, did you? And that's probably considered his bloodline, where his dad was a Freemason and his granddad was a Freemason. They just took it upon themselves to make him a Freemason. So if you go look up MLK, Martin Luther King Jr. has been made a Freemason on sight, as they say, on sight. They made him a Freemason on sight after his death. Go look it up. And so there you go. That's two people that you would reference to, that I would have their outcome if I am outspoken. And you have no reference point to play with someone like me, because I am not like those men. I didn't come from Freemasons, and I didn't follow a false religion. Now you see why they're having such a tough time. Because I'm following the true way, and you have no reference point. Boom. Yeah, because that's the first thing you want to do. We don't want to see nobody die like Martin Luther King Jr. I'm not Martin Luther King Jr. I don't come from a bloodline of Freemasons. I didn't go and minister at a Freemason lodge like MLK did. MLK, there's pictures of him in a Freemason lodge. This spiritual warfare gets tricky, man. You have decisions to make. And no one forces you to be a Freemason or follow another religion. If you did not follow the true way, this is what can make you a casualty out here. You can't just follow some other religion and then expect God to be with you. He was not with you. If you didn't follow his way, he is not with you. God don't play no games, man. I don't care who's offended by it. God doesn't play any games. You play games. You're biased about things. You choose to be that way. That's not the way God has made the universe. That's not the way God is. You play games. You're biased about it. You want to be half-toned about, you want to be half turned up about what's going on with black people, but all the way turned up about what police doing. That's how you are, which is not equality. So in the end, you can't even get proper results because you don't practice it yourself. The universe will look and say, well, they practice equality. They deserve to have equality. They practice preserving themselves. They deserve to have their people preserved. Look how they take care of each other. There's no such place that's happening, is it? And so be real with yourself. Don't try to be real against me. Be real with yourself. And that's the mystery of all situations. See, that's the mystery of all situations. Be real with yourself and you would be out of all your situations. Because look, what you eat don't make me fat. And what I eat don't make you fat. Go take care of yourself and you're going to be all right. And I'm going to be all right. And that's the truth of the matter, because you ain't going to get nothing done here when you got all these kids getting killed, getting their head blown off. And that's going to continue to go on if you're going to continue to be biased about it. That's going to continue to go on. So you can't make me no sacrifice, no scapegoat for your community. I know you got all these little corny little things that you think. And the bottom line is, man, you playing around a fully grown lion, a fully grown prophet of God. I'm nobody's scapegoat, buddy. I'm a lion. I would devour you. You tried to sacrifice me. It didn't work, did it? Listen, man, I would devour you. I would devour people who think like that. You think you're going to sacrifice me? Listen, listen, your whole country will be gone, man. How about that? How about that, buddy? Yeah, you're a cornball in my world. Now you see that. You're a cornball in my world, buddy. And we got the results to prove it. How many people got to die? That's how many people got to die. Ain't nothing you can do. Ain't nothing you can show me. Ain't no foolishness you can do to trigger me, man. All you got to realize is reality triumphs over all mental assumptions and illusions. Okay, none of that means anything. You know what means something? You killing all yourselves, sitting up here talking about races and weeding out races. It's ridiculous. It's corny. It's corny. And then you just slay each other and just like it's nothing. But you want me to pay attention to Black history. You want me to pay attention to Black history and all this stuff. You want me to pay attention to Black history and all of this, and you killing each other. See, that's where you have two different type of Black people. You got people that's biased and people that's not biased. Because I'm not biased don't mean I'm racist. I know that, first of all, I know human nature. All humans are no good on their own. On their own, none of them are any good unless they follow God. If they don't follow God, none of them are any good, including Black people. Okay? And I don't have to spell that out to you. It's not a matter of my opinion. Like I said, reality triumphs over all illusions. In reality, what's happening? They're killing each other, right? That's reality. So I don't care about any mind games. I don't care about any psychological stuff. Reality is they're killing each other, right? Reality is they're calling each other niggas, worried about racial slurs and racist people. Okay? And you choose to be biased about it. That's you. Everyone doesn't choose to be biased about it. So therefore, you don't have, what I'm trying to show you is, you don't have no chest to stand up, man. You don't have no chest to stand up with. All you can do is stand up individually for your family if your family is harmed. Other than that, you can't collectively stand up for nobody. How you gonna stand up for them? Because that means you got to take on the liabilities and everything. You got to take it all on, and you can't do it. You can't take on the liabilities fighting for black rights, but take on the liability of hypocrisy of watching them kill each other. You can't take on that liability, man. That's too heavy for you. I can't take it on. How am I going to explain that? How am I going to explain that to other people? Well, we see all of this killing over there. You know the only way the only way I get respect is if I cut you off and I speak the truth as I speak it. Boom. Other than that, they ain't gonna take me seriously because they're gonna say, well, how come you don't point out the fact that y'all killing each other over there? We just want to know. And this could be Africans that's fluent in English in different countries. Well, we want to know why y'all ain't pointing out the fact that y'all killing each other over there. Huh? Oh, what do you mean? Oh, that's just part of, can you explain it to an African from another country? You're going to be stumbling over your words. Stumbling over your words. But it's different because cause what? How? When we talk about racism, because racism, that these white people racist, but you call each other niggas. The most signature word for racism, for black people specifically. You can't explain it to unbiased people. And if you think there are not no unbiased Africans out there, you're tripping. Because it's people that's in Africa with a strong spirit, of a righteous spirit, that see you for who you are and see that you're a hypocrite. You sit up and you talk about the police killing you, and you sit up and kill yourself, and then you will have people who even think they're righteous. They think they're righteous, and in sticking with this, right? You're not. You're not, man. And someone has to ungas you. You know what I'm saying? You're gassed. And that's what it is. It ain't no way around it. It's no way around it. It's too big of an elephant in the room. The best thing you can do is work out your own salvation. Don't try to get me together. Don't try to act like you're doing something for me. Get yourself together. That's what you need to do. You need to get yourself together. I'm getting myself together. This is why I am together as I am now. I woke up. I realized, you can't be a hypocrite. You can't be out here. I defend myself against anybody. But you can't be out here like some cowardly people are, killing off black people, but they won't dare put a hand on white people. You know you ain't, because you scared what's going to happen if you go to jail. When you go to jail, you scared how much time you going to get. You ain't going to kill no white person, but you will kill a black person easy. But you would think about it before you kill somebody white. Man, how many people like that? How many people like that? You'll think twice before you kill somebody white, though. Because you know this country values white lives above all of us. That's why. But you'll go take somebody's life that's black, and the system is just going to look at it as just another casualty in a wasteland like jungle. That's how they're going to look at it. And that's what we talk about. So you can't. So I say that for the African Committee, This is all for you. All this leadership, people that sit behind desks and think you have the right to say yay or nay on somebody's life who you feel that may have disrespected you. You disrespect yourself. You kill yourself. I would tear apart your whole committee. It's nothing. And like I said, it's not a matter of opinion or I'm not delusional. I base it on reality. Okay, you just now you that's why you don't create enemies among yourselves, because the first thing your enemy gonna do is be unbiased. If you make me your enemy, what you think the first thing I'm gonna do? I'm going to be unbiased. I'm not gonna be biased about nothing. You calling each other niggas? You sitting up talking about racist people? You killing each other, and you killing kids more than the police kill them? You talking about pedophiles and you killing kids. I'm not biased about it. Same thing with America. You make me an enemy, I'm going to be unbiased towards your whole community, which explains it all. I gotta have my respect, man. That's what you got. That's what you understand. See, for you, respect is kind of an option. Like for grown men that do things and are true spiritual people, listen, my respect must be understood. I don't care what other people say. You could think whatever you want to think. God is not going to have his people around here play with, bruh. Subject to hood politics, subject to be played with like this is high school, with that arrogant ego stuff that you had in high school as black community. You can't apply that out here without consequences when you're playing with a prophet. I know it works. It works even after high school a little bit. It works out here on these streets when you get a couple guns. But then when you deal with prophets, when you deal with real spiritual people, how does it work for you? Now no one cares that you're black. No one cares if you got guns. No one's scared to die. So now how is it going to work? Now guess what? It's truly an equal situation, isn't it? Well, you're on the same level I'm on. You're not above me. Okay? You're not above me. It's a God complex, and I'm deflating your God complex. If you were so much of a God, how come you can't deliver yourself? I don't know gods that are captive. I don't know gods that are in captivity. And how come you've been there so long if you're gods? You're made in the image of God. Understand the difference. But the complex you have, if you listen to them, they act like they're gods. Okay, so if you're gods, how come you have not delivered yourselves? I've delivered myself. And the first deliverance is from the whole American community. If you was God-minded, you would have elevated to the knowledge that your first captivity is being captive to America. I'm free from America. You feel no need to be free from America because you have not elevated in the mind that God has given you. I ain't gonna say the God conscious, the mind that God has given you. You have not elevated, because if you had, you would still feel the need to be free from America. Anybody joined to it, you have not elevated. You could not possibly say you're a God, because in this culture and community, no matter how much money you have, you will not be free unless you free yourself from America. So obviously, the first freedom, whether broke or rich, is free from America and there is no compromise with this. Don't you get it? As long as you're black, you will not be treated as a god. And you know what I mean when I say that. So the first freedom is freedom from America, not financial freedom. So anybody that's speaking knowledge but still connected to America, You're not free. You have not elevated to the highest levels, because you know if you have elevated to the highest levels, you know that no matter what you do, you would not be free unless you're free from America. And see, what they do is they make you feel freedom individually. But let's look at it for what it is. You think all black people gonna be free without a fight? Without a fight from these racist people that just hate them for no reason? You listen, you think you're gonna be free from America? You think you're gonna be free? You think the whole black community here in America gonna be free without a fight? They just gonna let them go free? You don't realize there's still animosity there, do you? That's what I'm trying to show you. Everybody think they know what they know, but you don't even realize the animosity. You don't realize none of this stuff that's going on, man. Let me tell you something, man. Listen, I don't care how much money you got. I don't care what you do. As long as you are connected to America and you have not freed yourself from America, now you see what I'm saying? You're still captive, bro. You're still captive. And you can think I'm playing, but the true test is, you think everybody that's black in America gonna be free? Oh, you can be free to make it look like we're all free, but we're not all free, are we? Are we all free? Okay, so we're really not free at all. So nothing has changed really. All it has changed, they took a couple good black people and made it look like we were free. We're not free. So if you were truly a God, your first understanding would be, no matter what circumstances come and no matter who's famous or rich, we will never be free until we free ourselves from America, even in 2023. That is not going to change. It's not subject to change. It's not going to change. In a person that has received the mind of God, a person that's in the image of God will realize this. It's not going to change. It's not going to change. You're looking at commercials on TV where black and Hispanic and Latino and white people are together, and you think that mean we change? Ain't nothing changed. Nothing has changed collectively. Denzel Washington is out of harm's way. Snoop Dogg is out of harm's way. But you're not out of harm's way. They love him. They don't love you, though. They love Snoop. They don't love you, though. That's the difference. Okay? You can't live that man's life. You can't get the love he gets walking down the street. The police is going to respect that man. They don't see him as black. They see him as American. They don't see you as American. They see you as black. They don't see Snoop as black. They see Snoop as American. Right or wrong? So you telling me police is going to play around Snoop Dogg? I don't care if he got a whole pound of weed on him. You think they're going to play with Snoop? They're not going to do it, bro. And you think it's because they scared? No, he's American. And that's no disrespect to him. He didn't ask for all of it. He didn't necessarily ask for that. But we can't apply his life as an American to us. That's what I'm trying to show you. That's what you're so simple. You think that means you got the life of Snoop. You ain't got the life of Snoop. If you walk down the streets, they see you as a black man that could be a possible threat against the community. Snoop can walk down the street with a gun and they won't say nothing to him. Well, Snoop, you got a license for that gun? We hope you got a license for that gun. That's all them police gonna say. You know I'm right. Yeah, that's Snoop. They say that's Snoop. Hey, Snoop, you got a license for that gun? That's all they gonna say, right? Exactly. That's all I'm saying, bro. You can't act like you living their life, or that gives you hope. How does it give you hope? Like I told you, all these black people, how can we be rappers? So we can't all fit in this dream boat. We can't all fit in this dream boat of all of us becoming some rappers. How all of us gonna be rappers? So then how all of us are gonna have a sense of good well-being in paradise? How we all gonna get to paradise? You know what all these famous black people telling you to get to paradise? Oh, you can be famous. That's a simple mentality, isn't it? So then how come these famous black people ain't telling us how we all can live in paradise then? Have you heard it? Have famous black people told you what's the blueprint for us to all live in harmony and in paradise? They have no such blueprint. All they can do is tell you to pursue your dreams in some cliche type way, and all of us cannot be on no dream boat. So what do the collective African American community supposed to hope for then? When these famous black people are just saying pursue your dreams, they have no blueprint to help you, and they got plenty of money. They got billions on their own. Some individuals got billions, and they can't provide no land for you here in America, can they? Listen, man, they became American. Don't you see it? Well, if they was African American, how come they not with you then? Oh, they'll fleece you all day long. How come they ain't got no plan then? Because they are not your leaders. Your leaders would have a plan, wouldn't they? How you gonna be called my leader, but you ain't got no plan to get us out collectively? You ain't got no plan to get us out of here collectively, but you my leader. Well, if you a leader, then you supposed to be leading me somewhere, right? Right or wrong? A leader leads. That's another thing. You've been calling all these people leaders, but they not leading you. Where they leading you at? See, a real leader leads. You see how I'm leading you? I'm a natural leader. I'm leading you. And listen, they got all the money and I'm the one leading you. What that tells you? They ain't leading you nowhere. And you call them your leaders. I got to do a video on that. They are not your leaders. Based on definition, you can say by opinion, but by definition and technicalities of activity, how are they leading you? And that's how you know, because they ain't got no plan. You know what they tell you? Pursue your dreams, and you say that's your leaders. And how all black people in the ghetto gonna be rappers and singers? So what's the plan for African American community then? You have no such leaders to tell you anything, do you? And that's what I'm saying. All you have is the culture and people fleecing you and take advantage of your brand. As African American, you are now a brand. And you've been letting these people take your brand, individual African Americans, take your brand and take your street cred and get rich off of it and don't have no plan to lead you. See, you need a real businessman in between all of this to show you brand. You're a brand, okay? If somebody want to talk about they from Queens, then they have to invest in Queen people. They want to come. This is what you should have did. You should have had businesses set up to where black people were respected. Okay, you say you from Compton, then you have to pay, you have to invest in Compton and have a plan and come to a Megatron plan of helping Compton come out. We ain't gonna just leave Compton here and you come out. You're gonna come back. You're not gonna use the brand. You're using the brand for street cred, right? You're the only reason you're taken seriously because you're from Compton. That's why. So that's a brand. It's not your brand. You was born into it. Okay? You used the brand, but did not deliver the people that's in the community. Man, I don't know. Maybe I'm just like that. Maybe that's too futuristic for y'all. Because you got all these people jacking brands, but they ain't delivering the whole community. They ain't delivering nobody. They delivering themselves, and listen, if you take a couple good songs and think that's deliverance, man, you lost your mind. We talking about real deliverance. And you don't have it, do you? You don't have no leaders doing that. Everybody jacking brands, jacking Brooklyn, jacking Compton, and any other neighborhood or any other city that's popular. All they doing is jacking brands. And by now, as an African-American community, somebody should have been and showed you your brand by now, and you should have had a whole structure, a business structure concerning the brand of African-American culture and neighborhoods and everything thereof. You haven't covered it like that. No, you haven't. No, you haven't. To where if they don't respect that structure, they don't get no respect out here anyway. So they got to come to that structure. The only thing that people should be checking in with is the African American brand structure. That's the only thing. They shouldn't have to check in on these washed up gangsters. You got people talking about they checking in. They got to check in when they come to cities. These washed up gangsters. You know what I mean? Only thing that people should be checking into is the African American brand structure that covers the country and would be international. That's the only thing people should be checking in with. And if they ain't checking in with that, they don't have no street credibility. They don't have no credibility. But you didn't do it like that. You sit back and let people jack the brand, and they fleecing you and taking your money, and they're not leading you anywhere. The only reason they got credibility because they throw out these names where they from. Chicago. Oh, we know about Chicago. Oh, they turned up over there. Oh, he from Chicago. And some of them ain't even really had no parts, and they ain't even sell no drugs. You know what I'm saying? Now they can say they sell drugs, but they ain't sold no drugs out there. You know what I mean? I'm not obviously talking about everybody. If you know you sold drugs, I'm obviously not talking to you. But then you got people that subtly bite the brand. Like as if to say they did that, and that gives them street credibility, and they don't lead your people out. That's under that brand. That's how it should work. Everybody that gets a brand, okay, you taking that brand, then you got to help that brand. If you take the brand, you got to help the brand. Don't that make sense? Business sense, it makes. I'm saying like Yoda, business sense, it makes. If you use a brand, you help the brand. You use Brooklyn, you help Brooklyn. You use Compton, you help Compton. You use Harlem, you help Harlem. And we would have been out of this situation if everybody went about it that way. See, so a leader has real solutions. You see the difference between me and other people? I'm a natural leader, which means I'm not going to let you play any games. I'm a real boss. A real boss man is not going to let you sit here and shuck and jive at the job. If you go to a job, you know who people hate? Really, the good boss man. That's who they hate, because you can't shuck and jive and play around. You got to come to work and you got to get the job done. Ain't nobody trying to hear that old friend stuff and all of that, my homies and all. Nah, we trying to get this job done. Well, we get black people free out the ghetto and ain't nobody doing it. But yet everybody want to stand up. You don't take yourself seriously then. If you think I'm talking in a gimmick, then you must consider yourself a gimmick. I'm talking about real solutions. If you don't take it seriously, you don't take yourself seriously. You think I'm talking about something that can never happen. So therefore, I would say you don't take yourself seriously, do you? So you take yourself seriously, but when I start talking about real solutions, now you see what I'm saying. And that's why, I move the way I move, okay? This is why. You don't have any leaders that's telling you to do anything. They ain't telling you nothing. All they do, and I know the type, they sit back like some committee sitting back behind a desk, acting like they going to do this for black people, do that for black people, and we got this rolling. You ain't got nothing rolling. You ain't got nothing going. Look at this country. There's nothing going. Okay? It's self-beneficial. It's beneficial for you and yours. That's all it is. Let's keep it a buck, man. That's all it is. You taking care of you and yours, but it's projected as if it's community. Well, then how come it's not helping the community? It's projected that way, though. That's why Black Lives Matter is not in the same position it was 4 or 5 years ago. The reason why is because parents start complaining about people using their children as after their deaths for monetary gain. That's what Black Lives Matter has been accused of, just in case you don't know. Oh, it's swept under the rug. It's swept under the rug for the sake of keeping the Black Lives Matter brand alive, which is many black people might think it's just profitable to have that kind of floating around. Not if they doing anything underhanded and not going down and doing the work in the neighborhoods where they say where Black lives are. Black lives are in the ghetto. Why? How come Black Lives Matter is not in the ghetto? This is what everybody complain about. I'm not the only one. I am not the only one that complains about this. And now, like I said, they've been accused of using victims, black victims, situations as a means of monetary gain. This is what the parents complained about. Not me, the parents. The parents of victims, families victims. The family of victims complained about Black Lives Matter using their family. Now, you see how it's like using the brand? It's using again? You're using African American as a brand. Even if it's a victim, it's still the brand of African American. And you're not as sharp as you think. Because if you were sharp, you would realize how much the brand is being jacked. Man, listen, how I feel is everybody talking about who's real and fake, right? But you don't realize how many fake people you don't put money in their hands. How many fake people out here, money, you don't put money in the hands of all these fake people. Yeah, you have. Yeah, you have. They fizzled out and became gimmicks. And if you had a structure of real respect for the brand, you wouldn't even have all that. And you would have people that support the real community and ultimately pull African Americans out. This entertainment and all of this should have been pulling African Americans out as a community. It hasn't been doing that, have it? We should have looked at it as money that could have pulled us all out. Now you see what I'm saying? If it all had been black African American coming together, not spending all your money, of course, but all of us coming together, building a structure that ultimately pulls African Americans out of the ghetto experience, right? That should have been number one, man. That should have been number one plan. It hasn't been, has it? That's what I'm trying to show you. That's what I'm trying to show you. Then you talking about sellouts. You can't even tell me about no sellout. Listen, not on my level. Go tell other people about that. Go feed them that. You don't listen. I hurt your feelings, and you don't want to know what's really going on. You don't want to know how it's going on. No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. You want to remain biased, and you want to hear sound bites that make you feel good. That's all it is. That's all it is. You want emotional stimulation. You want me to stimulate your emotions. That's what you're used to. That's what you want. That's what you want. You don't want real change. You don't want them people coming out that ghetto. You don't want that. You want leaders to tell you the good things, the history, and all of this good stuff to make you feel good. That's all it is. That's all. That's the same reason many people go to church. You don't go to church to change yourselves. You go to church to feel good. Thinking some blessings are coming. That's the first thing you're thinking about. That's all you're thinking about. That's what I'm saying. The prophet doesn't play any games. I'm not some gimmick to play with. I'm not some little guy to play with, man. You got to come correct or don't come at all. That's all it is. That's the main motto of this year. Come correct or don't come at all, man. You know, if you can't send no ambassadors to talk to me face to face, then what? Then why should I respect you as a man or a woman? You can't even bring no real people to me face to face. I'm face to face as it can get. I'm on YouTube. I'm out, I talk to people when I do in certain situations, I talk to people and I make videos. I'm networking concerning the truth. I'm in people's face. They see what I feel. They know what I feel. But I don't respect no other side that has not brought no people to me. And you wouldn't either, and you shouldn't either. If you call yourself an warrior, but you can't bring no people to me face to face, what kind of warrior that make you? And I'm not talking about black people. I'm really talking about them secret societies when I said clowns, man. Illuminati and all of that clown, man. You ain't in no contest with me. Don't you see that? I'm way out of your league, buddy. You ain't in no contest with me. You trying to come up off of my name, off my brand. You trying to come up off of my brand and it ain't working. You ain't getting no legend being here. You ain't getting no legend. Listen, bro, you was just a scruffy bunch of weirdos playing games out here. That's all it was. And that's all the legend you gonna get, buddy. Because we dusted you. I'm just one man. And look how many people I done dusted. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep that 100, man. Let's keep that to reality. All these people out here to one man. Yeah, you had that conversation lately? I'm one man. Yeah, you forgot about that, didn't you? I don't have a team of people. Ain't nobody helping me. I'm one man to all these people, and they still getting dusted. Man, come on, man. Stop playing with me. So you don't compare. You listen, you don't have to be the smartest person in the world. If you got one man and you got hundreds of people playing game and they can't win, they're not comparable to that man. That's me. I'm that man that they cannot compare to. Don't compare me to them bums, okay? Not one of them can do anything to me. Okay, those are bums then. It's no contest. How's a contest? I'm one man and it's hundreds of them doing nothing. Man, them bums, man. That's simple, bro. And you done seen it long enough to conclude the same thing. Do not gas these fools, making them think they're tough and hot stuff. They're bums. Well, if they're not, how's it take 1 million of them and one of me? If you were so tough, it would be just one of you by spiritual means or by any means. You're bums, okay? That's all it is to it. Ain't no contest. You think I'm going to let them go on and they've been shown to be bums? No, this stops that. I don't acknowledge that anymore. Don't acknowledge that foolishness. Those are bums. In my definition of bum is a low quality person. It's not a poor person. A poor person could be the better